What's up, everybody? Welcome to High Speed Daddy. And today we are mad. We are crazy.
The heart is pounding so fast. The heart's pounding.
We're losing our minds because we're going crazy, people.
What do we do? What do we do?
There's so much stuff going on in the world. We don't know what to do. We had to come on. We had to share this with you and reach out to you. Take my hand, world, because we are struggling. So, look, I took off my blue glasses to just throw my shirt off in frustration because of everything that's going on. This is Craig from High Speed Daddy.
Hi, everybody.
Friends and family from Culture City. What's going on? We also are sharing this within our High Speed Daddy Provide, Protect, Connect private Facebook group. And if you are a dad, a husband, a man, a human being of the male persuasion, we encourage you to join us in a High Speed Daddy Provide, Protect, Connect private Facebook group. We help men. Right now, it's just for men. But it doesn't mean we don't love our ladies, and we love our moms and our grandmas. We love all of you. But sometimes we men got to have a safe place where we can help each other out. Am I right, Craig?
Safe space.
Yeah, safe space. Well, I'm going to share this.
We need a place to go every now and then. You know, this is the new version of almost like the bar back in the day, right? Like maybe our fathers or like not even that long ago, where men would go to have conversations with other men to discuss life problems, good things going on and bad things going on, and things along those lines that they can just speak a little bit easier to other men. So we have a men's group on Facebook called High Speed Daddy Provide, Protect, Connect. Go look us up there. We're sharing there right now. Lots of great things. Go check us out over there.
I was just looking on my board in the back there. I'm like, what's even written on there? Hopefully nothing confidential.
Lots of chaos. Lots and lots of chaos that we talk about today. Speaking of which, Corey's too busy trying to calm himself down right now, which actually goes right into what we want to speak about today, which is what the heck do you do when things are out of control, when there's too much chaos going on, when there's too much anxiety and too much stress in your life? Now, we've spoken to some of this stuff in the past, but we want to dive a little bit deeper today. We want to give maybe 3 techniques, 5 techniques on things that you can do. Corey and I will probably bounce back and forth as we always do because we're awesome like that, and give you some ideas and some techniques to help you through those super stressful moments that a lot of people are in probably today after watching last night's debate, and I'll leave it at that.
Let us know. What did you think? Let us know in the comments. What did you think about the debate last night?
Fine. 30 seconds, 1 minute. Ridiculous. So depressing. It's playing an effect on everything going on right now. I have no problem telling people High Speed Daddy sales are down today, I believe, affected because of that and how, they're implying things of how the economy is and whatnot. I watched it. I hate politics. That's just me right now. Whatever I concentrate on other things like my family and you guys in the High Speed Daddy community and Culture City community. I rather concentrate on great positive things like that than dwell into the debate. But I watched it for about 2 to 3 minutes and all I saw was bickering. And that, in my personal opinion, is the problem. We can't get along. And these are the people that are supposed to be leading our country. Yeah. And that's depressing to think about that. And I'll just leave it at that. That's my 2 cents.
So my wife couldn't sleep last night. My daughter had trouble getting to sleep. I had trouble falling asleep. Okay. But I like to pride myself. Like there's not a lot of stuff that gets to me. I protect this house so strong. Right. And I see the world through rose-tinted glasses a lot of the time, but it's getting real hard.
It's getting dark here and there. Yeah.
Oh man. And so, I was struggling, going to bed and stuff. Some of the things we can't really talk about, but we all know what the big obvious one was, right? We know what the big obvious one was that, one of the two refused to say. And this was a big deal. This is a big deal. So, whatever. We're going to move on from this pretty soon here. But my wife was shaken. even the reporters were shaken. There was a dude on CNN, and I don't know his name, but it was right after the CNN coverage. He said that was a train wreck inside of a dumpster fire inside of a something or other. And it was absolutely like they were dumbfounded, right? And what comes to me, there's a book by Eckhart Tolle. I don't know what the book is called. I'm going to have to go grab it. It's on my wife's nightstand, but
we'll put it in the comments.
Okay. It talks about the need to be right? It talks about our internal instinct to be right and fight to show that we are right. And what I think what Eckhart Tolle talks about in the book is like letting go, just let go of the need to be right and just be right. And not for 1 second did I see like one person actually listening to another person. It was on the defensive, it was offensive and defensive at the same time, but there was no listening. There was no respect given to each person. Like it was unbelievable. And I just think like if we communicated like that, could you imagine speaking like that to your wife, your father, your mother? My wife would lose her mind. She'd probably start crying, like burst into tears if I wouldn't let her talk, you know?
And this happens, right? And this does happen.
Yeah.
It's recognizing that it's happening and correcting it. I'm guilty. I'm still guilty to this day. Every now and then, I have a patience issue. I love telling you guys all my problems, right? I'm keeping it real. I have a patience issue. I snap. There's things that I'm diving into or trying to develop the root cause and what's that from so I can correct it. That's the thing, is trying to recognize it and correct it, but recognize it prior to it happening again, right? And developing developing some triggers or techniques around how to fix it or how to recognize it and how to deal with it appropriately instead of boom, snapping, right?
Yeah.
So, those are some things we're gonna dive into, real quick here. And Corey, if you want, I'll kick it off.
Yeah, go for it.
And I'm going to do the obvious one, which I do all the time on trying to take that, is breathe, right? And there's all different types. And what does that mean? Breathe, right? It could be just taking one deep breath, whether it's in through your mouth, in through your nose, out of your mouth, out of your nostrils, whatever. And there's all different techniques for doing that. But it's just taking a deep breath and relaxing yourself and just taking that pause, that tactical pause before something happens, right? It's recognizing that. So there's things that you can do to kind of recognize that stuff before it happens, or recognize what's going on self-awareness wise. You're starting to clench up, blood starting to boil, things. And then before it happens, you take that breath.
I'm going to share the video that we sent today.
Yes, through our email list.
Yes. Yeah, from George. Okay, and George coaches you through actually how to breathe. I just put it in the comments down there, so check it out. Continue.
Yes. So there's there's a few different techniques for it. There's one that I use pretty frequent, and that's called box breathing, which is a very simple process of breathing in through your nose for 4 seconds, counting mentally, breathing in for 4 seconds. That's going up, breathe in 4 seconds, pause 4 seconds, exhale through your mouth 4 seconds, and pause 4 seconds. And that's one that I use pretty frequently. There's another one that I like to use called 4-7-8. It's 4-8-7 or 4-7-8 breathing, which is taking a big deep breath in through your nostrils, holding it for 7 seconds, and then exhaling through your mouth for 8 seconds. And this is as you're counting those seconds mentally. Now, there's things that are going on, I think it's called physiologically, with the change in oxygen and carbon dioxide levels in your body that helps you relax when you do these techniques. But there's also the mental aspect of distraction that happens, which is the mental counting and trying to keep on either that special box or 4-7-8, counting your breaths or counting those seconds in as you're taking that breath and counting the seconds out as you're exhaling. So there's that distraction that goes on, and that's doing those, and you get into a repetition of how many reps you do of those things. And I'm not going to say that you should do it for a certain amount of reps, but you do it until you feel yourself relax, until you distract yourself from whatever situation that you find yourself. So those are some big techniques. One of which I used the 4-7-8 last night. I woke up in the middle of the night, and this was not a debate thing. This is just, I feel I have a lot on my shoulders lately between a house move, my kids going to a new school. I'm literally in the process of selling my old house for sale by owner. So even more on my shoulders, still moving into the new house, figuring the new finances out of the new house, things along those lines, figuring out what's going on with the business, how the business is going to trend into Q4, all the fun things of a CEO and business owner as well. And usually I'm pretty good, but last night I woke up in the middle of the night and I was starting to spiral, and I started this 4-7-8 breathing technique. And before I knew it, and I don't know how many reps I was into it, I was able to put myself back to sleep after a while.
Awesome.
Just calm down to relax enough that I don't even know how many reps, because during the process of counting, I must have got into some version of a meditative state that I actually just fell back asleep. So
do you like having like sounds?
So
like white
I
noise?
personally don't. And I know that's another technique to use while you're doing these breath techniques, or a version of meditation or guided breath work. I just like to count myself. I'd rather just have no distraction. But I know that does help, is listening to either someone counting for you, or you counting with someone doing that, or music, subtle sounds of, the ocean waves, waterfalls, birds out in nature, things along those lines. So
yeah, for me,
I just went on a long one. That was only one, but that was like 4 in 1.
No, I love it. For me, it's mine's simple. It's just perspective. I always like try to put things in perspective.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard that like perspective is good, but also not good sometimes. I don't really understand the not good side. I think it's more like the perspective of saying to your kids, eat all your dinner. They're starving children, in whatever third world countries.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. I think that's the negative side. But if anybody knows, like, give me a comment. I don't know exactly why, but I do know that
I think it has to play with that comparison game where you shouldn't really compare things. But I do agree that, and when I say compare, is like you're always, trying to keep up with the Joneses, or if someone else, looks good, you don't look as good as them, or you don't have the same clothes as them. And it's not about that stuff, right? And that's where you don't want to play that comparison game.
Yeah.
Because you dwell on things, you spiral, mentally, you look at yourself in a negative fashion, negative light, as you're not meeting an expectation, you're not good enough, or something along those lines.
Mm-hmm.
But I do agree with you that I actually feel it's okay in a container to use comparison in perspective, to keep things to keep it real, right? Just to keep it real. Oh, I don't have the latest pair of, Nikes out there, or something along those lines. Like, oh yeah, there are people out there that can't afford shoes. Oh, I didn't have my filet mignon tonight. Yeah, there's people that don't have food out there, let alone a piece of steak, let alone a filet mignon, right? So it is, I understand 100%, and I do the same thing with my family as well, and my kids, and try to keep in perspective, and open up their minds a little bit. Like, how we live is, I mean, it's not like the most extravagant, but it's definitely far from the worst as well. So, just kind of keeping that stuff in perspective. I agree 100% with you on that one, Corey.
Good. What else are you thinking about? I mean, I got to say, like, I built a basketball hoop backwards last night, Craig.
Tell me how you did this. Sorry, we need a tangent here.
Man.
Tell me that, like, it's supposed to stick out this way and you had it stick out that way, right?
No, the problem was it's adjustable, and the holes that go with the pole, lift it up and down.
I've built I've built one of these. That's why I'm trying to figure it out.
It was backwards. It's just like, the
upside down, and you go to lower it and it just raises it up higher type thing.
No, it's like the prongs that hold it into place.
Okay.
Or on the side where you actually shoot, not on the side where you in the back. And so
that's a defensive tactic to prevent layups. That's what that is.
I'm trying.
Awesome.
It's in the garage right now. I got to go reverse it, and it shouldn't be that bad. But man, it's like
did this set you off? Is that why what you're getting at here, or what?
No, because it was an awesome moment with my daughter, because I had finished. I'd built it with the boys, who are, by the way, 5 and 9, and lost probably half of the pieces while I was making it. But then my 12-year-old daughter, I'm like, yo, come out, just like one little thing. It's in the morning, so she's like, duh. And I'm like, come on, babe, just help me with this one thing. So I'm like, just hold this thing. I got the backboard. I got everything. I'm lifting it in. She goes, Dad, this is like totally backwards. I was like, what? Let me take a look. What are you talking about? She goes, how are you supposed to shoot like this, Dad? And I was like, I think you're right. And we did laugh about it. No, it didn't make me upset. The things that make me make me upset or like, lose my stuff is like when my kids are making a constant sound over and over because they know that it irritates me. Yeah. And I'm telling you, I know my damn kids. I know my kids. They're doing it because they know. So they'll be like, and I'm like trying to have a conversation with my wife, and it's like super important. And
it's
I'm
like
just
a fly buzzing around your ear or something like that.
Yeah. So I'll just be like, stop, I try, but that's the only thing that really gets me. And when my wife is disappointed in me, that's the worst.
Corey, are you seeking approval? Is that one of your things? Constantly seeking approval?
I am a words of affirmation guy. I need people to tell me I did a good job.
I know that came out of the last one or the one before, last live or live before, but yeah.
At least I'm consistent.
Yes.
But yeah, I don't know, man. Whenever my wife is like disappointed, that's the worst. That's the worst. Anyways.
So what do you do then? What do you do then when you start to feel your blood boil? How do you recognize, and what's a technique you use? Is it you have to excuse yourself outside to kind of calm down? Is it you go hit the weights? You exercise?
No, I work out. I try to work out. It's not been very regular these days, but I try to work out. Yeah, I try to work out consistently to keep that at bay. But no, I go for a walk. I love walking, and I'll go for a walk in the neighborhood, and it's pretty good. So that's what I do to calm down. And it's not like, I'm leaving, slam. No, it's just like, hey, I'm gonna go for a walk. Is that cool? Yeah, everybody cool? We got the kids under control. Okay, great. Here I go. And I'll just go for a walk. So yeah, it's good. It's good.
Yeah. So I mean, those are things you do. I mean, the biggest thing is to recognize what's going on, and then if you want to do the work. And you can come to High Speed Daddy Provide Protect Connect group if you're a male, and if not, we'll give you some techniques here as well. As in, what can you do to recognize that stuff? And I truly believe that versions of meditation. Now, meditation is, in my opinion, this is all just our opinions on stuff. I'm not a psychologist. I'm not a counselor or anything like that. I'm just someone that's studied up on these things because I'm truly interested in helping not only myself but everyone else out there as well. Because I swear you all have very similar problems that I do, I'm sure, right? No one's perfect here. But my versions, my opinion of meditation is that you do meditation. There's different forms of meditation that you could all look up and Google, and I'm not going to force any of that on you. But, there's things you can look at it through meditation to help become more self-aware of recognizing triggers and things that will, that's make your skin, make your blood boil, essentially get under your skin, things that will pattern, you can recognize patterns. Now, some people think that meditation is just, it's to just for the visual enlightenment. They think about, you're going to see patterns and, hallucinations and this. And yeah, there's some stuff out there that changes I believe the word is physiological change of the oxygen and carbon dioxide levels that can produce that stuff. And I'm no expert on that. Our co-owner George is up to speed on those things, and we're gonna get him one of these days to talk a little bit more about that. And maybe we can even grab Stephanos and put Stephanos in here for 15 minutes, a half hour someday. Who Stephanos is a friend of ours that runs a men's group and is really up to speed on different versions of meditation and breath work to help in recognizing issues or root cause problems that you have and whatnot. But versions of that meditation to relax you so that one, it can be preventative, but two is to maybe just recognize that stuff right as it's happening to help you then go into, okay, I'm going to take a deep breath. I'm going to do box breathing real quick. I'm going to excuse myself politely and go outside. Not, F you all, I'm leaving. As Corey said, hey, is everyone okay? I'm feeling a little angst right now. I just want to go outside and take a deep breath or a little walk, things along those lines. So
Yeah. Well, listen, I think that's pretty good. I think, listen, everybody, you're going through it right now. We're all going through it. The good
Hmm.
news is, I do think the vice presidential debate will be a little bit more respectful than the presidential debate. I think both of them have the ability to be a bit more classy. Um, you know, we'll just leave it at that. I don't think I should
I'm
comment
I'm
any
probably
more.
I'm probably not going to watch it. I'm going to let Corey and you all in the comments tell me your opinions of it. I'm just going to do what I normally do, which is concentrate on my family, our
Yeah,
community through High Speed Daddy, and stay present in the moment. And that could be another technique, selective ignorance, right?
it is.
I'm not
Yeah.
going to get into it because I know that it'll set me off down a path. That's a preventative measure that I take.
I told my
And
wife, my wife is obsessed on her phone today, obsessed in the morning. Like, I can't believe this and that and this. And I was like, you got to
not
put that,
healthy,
you got
right?
to put that down, babe. And she's
Right?
like,
Yeah.
well, I mean, well. And I'm like, no, 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 you don't understand. Like, this is the time right now when you should put your social media away.
Hmm. Hmm.
I have not checked my feed. I'll be honest, like, I don't even post to my personal Facebook that much
Agreed.
anymore. I just
Yeah,
don't.
I'm the same way. I mean, there's it's one of those things. I mean, I'm sure a bunch of people on here have all seen a Netflix documentary, right? The
Yeah.
Social Dilemma.
Yeah.
Watched it the other night. Fell asleep while watching it. I got bored after a while, but like I was not like super intrigued. It was more like, yeah, I'm kind of aware of these
It was the
things.
same thing over and over and
Yeah,
over.
yeah. I was like, I'm kind of
Like,
aware of it. My wife was like, oh, I didn't know this. I'm like, really?
I know, I know.
Yeah. So
That's
Corey and
it's
I are a little bit more tied into this world.
yeah, it's how
But,
people market their business.
but
It's just, if you use the powers for bad, then yeah,
yeah.
you stink.
So, but I mean, then there's the powers for good as well, as they spoke
Yeah.
about in there, which wasn't a big segment, but there's powers for good, such as what we're talking about right now, what we
Oh yeah.
do every Wednesday, 4:30 Eastern time. And we're just bringing the goods to you. If there's something you want to know about, we usually have a 4 to 6 week plan out there on what we're talking about, a schedule. We'll gladly interrupt the schedule if there's something that's pressing that someone wants a little bit more information on that we can provide and/or research and then provide some information on that as well.
Yeah. Love it. All right, friends. Well, thanks for joining us. As always, you can catch us 4:30 Eastern every Wednesday. And come join us in the private Facebook group. We'll see you there.
All
Craig,
right.
good to see you, man.
You too. Catch you guys